Okay, we're going to do some 2D drawing in Vectorworks. So click a line and click one point, let go, and you'll be able to type a length. So it gives you L, which is for length, 2000, and zoom out. So that's got a line constricted to 2000. Then I can select which direction. So go horizontally on there. Now I'll do another line, 3000 on this one, and I'm going to go vertically. So you can see I've got these smart guides which are snapping it to 90 degrees. If I click these snaps off here, I still get the length because we've set that, but I don't get those snaps. So if I add that in, there we go, 90 degrees, and click the point. So these are found in the palettes snapping. So if your window looks different, just add in these tools by putting a tick next to them, and they'll appear. Okay, so now we've got this thing to scale, we can look at our layer scale. So that's here with those sheets of paper. Select them and edit, and then change the layer scale. I'm going to use 1 to 50. And there, this is still a 2 meter by 3 meter line, so I can do a view zoom fit to page area, but it's at a 1 to 50 scale. So the relationship between that and our page setup, so I'm going to set this up using an A1 size page. So there isn't A1 in the list, so I can manage a custom size, add one in, give it a name, and change the dimensions. So 84.1 and 59.4. I'm going to take the bleed area away, so the non-printable area around the edge. So this is going to be A1 size page. So click OK to them. Yeah, we can see it's the correct size. So now we've got a 3 meter by 2 with a 2 meter line, upscale of 1 to 50. So if I select this and look in my object info, there we can see that it's 2000. Right, and we can even select a dimension tool, click that point and another point, drag it up, and there, 2000. So delete that. Now what we're going to do is continue to draw out a plan of the building, just using the lines. I'm not going to do these to any specific dimension, just start to draw out some lines. I can ask to do a hint from there, right? So I'm trying to make it draw a line horizontally from that point, so I need to add on the snaps, so keep on adding. Yep, and there we go. I can go horizontally from that point and vertically from there, and again type in dimension if you want, and I'm going to snap to that point there, so drag it out. So you're giving it a clue when you're doing that. You're saying I want to go to this point and starting it off. Okay, and finish there. Okay, so these are all individual lines, and what I'm going to do is an offset to these. So I need to change the offset value. So you've got the spanner and the pencil, click that one, and you can give it a distance. So I'm going to make this 150, click OK, and then click a side. So whichever side you click, you'll draw a line. Now I'm pressing the Command button or the Apple button to select the next line, and then click another side. And again, Command, click, and click to a side. So highlight it with the command and then click to whichever side you want to offset. Now just work my way around the whole drawing. And now I'm going to make these lines join up by using the extend and connect tool. So if I click one line to the other line, click OK, and it's actually joining both lines to one another. So it's a really quick way of extending the lines. Okay, and now I just need to trim. So I'm using the little button which is like a hand and scissors, clicking the side I don't want to keep there, and it deletes it. Okay. So now I'm just going to use a rectangle to draw in a few more features. So these could be windows. Copy and paste. So objects are exactly the same as any other application. You can copy and paste them. I can also use the smart guides to pick them up from the middle points and drop them onto the middle point of another line. So the other thing I can do is use the object info to actually change the size. So we've got this grid which represents where you want to scale it from. So if I click 100 on there, it scales it over to the left. So go back to 1000 on that one. So put it to 1000 and back into the middle of there. So with this one, I'm going to make sure I go to the middle point to scale it and just type 1000 in directly. Okay, so it's 100, so it scales it 100 to the middle, and add on a 0, 1000. So you can see how that point graph helps you scale it from a specific place. Okay, so now I'm just going to draw in a few other lines just to get the idea of line weights and also the fact you can change colour of lines. So this is our attributes, and if you click on there you can change the colour of a line. Okay, so that's gone grey, and you can also change the thickness. Okay, and I'll just draw another line, and we'll do a dashed line. So same place where the thickness is, dashed line there. So that's thickness, colour and dash. Now what I'm going to do is trace over the outline to make all these individual lines one continuous line. So I'm using a polyline, which just means multiple point line, tracing round the wall areas. So my smart guides or the snaps are helping me click exactly onto the points. Now if you don't actually get a point itself, you can always go back and edit. That's fine. So changing the fill style, go to the grey, there we go. We can change the attributes of the fill as well. So this is that point where I didn't quite snap onto the other point. So using the hand, which looks like it's pinching a rectangle, select that, then I can move the individual points of that polyline. Okay, so just continue. So I'm going to just draw in this wall. So again, ensuring that I snap on the points, just tracing over it. Now this is also useful when you come to do three-dimensional modelling too. Okay, and fill colour, so the paint bucket. There we go. So the polyline, you can also draw straight lines, but also curved lines. So I'm clicking and letting go. Now if I click and hold down, start to move the mouse, and click and hold down and move the mouse, you can see how a curved line is formed. So these allow you to control where a curved line goes. So the other thing you'll notice is there is a solid colour to this. Often it might be the case that you draw a polyline and other lines disappear. So just be mindful that because they are a continuous line, they can have a solid colour. So I'm just going to go to none. and that's the editing. So you can see the points. If I move them about, it edits the shape of that line. So if you didn't get it quite right the first time, you can always go in and readjust. So the other types of curves you can use are arcs, and you have a bit more control in terms of input for these ones. So this is just a usual polyline drawing an arc. It won't be symmetrical. So if I use this tool, which is an arc, and we get another set of ways of controlling it, I'm going to use this second one in and click one point, click the top of the arc, and again the last point. So you can see how it's making an arc between 2 points and a height. And get rid of the fill. So this one allows you to sweep an arc round. So I'm going to click a point here and click another point, then start to move, and you can see how I can swing that round to the angle of arc I want. So that's got a fill, take that one off. And I'll just draw in another line to that. So this is going to the centre of there, through to the arc. Okay, so now I'm just going to draw out a quick elevation, show you a few more tools. So here I can change the width, say, of this rectangle using the object info. So you've got editing capabilities within the object info window. Now I'm just going to draw a couple more lines to show you the mirror tool. So if you have symmetrical objects, you can draw a set of lines, and we're going to use this as a reference for a mirror point. You don't necessarily have to have a line, but it just helps understand. So then clicking this button here, or selecting the objects first, then click mirror, and 2 points, 1 point at the top, 1 point at the bottom. That gives us our mirror line, and it's almost like a copy and paste. So you can see how that one would speed up some drafting, and just extending that out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is do a duplicate array. So I'm going to use this to create some steps. So just using 200 high and set that up to 90 degree vertically, and I'm going to do them 300 deep. So 300 along the horizontal, and I'm going to join these lines, or actually I'm going to compose them. So I select them both by using the Apple key and go to modify, compose. Now what this does is it actually joins the line so it becomes one line. And if I add a fill, you can see they behave a lot more like a polyline. Okay, so this is the object I'm going to duplicate array. So edit duplicate array, and let's have 10, so number of duplicates. There's different types. You can do rectangular array or circular array. We're going to do a linear array. So x 200, y 300. Okay, to that. Right, okay, so you can see how that's moved that, but not in the correct order. So we want to do edit duplicate array, and 300 on the x, and y 200. There we go. So again, that's another drafting aid which will speed things up.